A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K. Here's how we can actually use an external instrument in GarageBand on Mac. To use an external instrument on the Mac, you need to download it first of all. Now, unlike on iOS where you just go to the App Store, a lot of plugins you actually download from the website. So I'm here on the Studio Logic webpage for Numa Player. I'm going to hit this download button in the top right corner. It's going to say, yep, you're going to download this. I'm going to choose Mac OS. Now, the cool thing about Numa Player is it's Windows, Mac, and iOS or iPad OS. So when you download it, you can see in the bottom left corner, it's going to download a package, and it's going to take a few minutes there. All right, so that's downloaded. Now we're going to click on the package. It's now going to jump here and give us this installer window. It's going to go through and install this. We'll just hit continue a bunch of times. We're going to agree to the copyright. We're going to agree again without reading the license, but of course we have. It would like to access files on removable volume. Not quite sure what it means. I guess it means it may want to install it onto my hard drive that's external. Yes, it does, but we just want it on the Mac hard drive. So we're going to continue. We're going to install, and now I just need to pop in my password, which I will do now. So that is now done. The installation is successful. The software was installed, and Mac is actually pretty good. It tells you, do you want to put that installer file to the bin? I do. We don't need that anymore. So that is installed now. We can now jump back over to GarageBand Mac. Now, one thing that tripped me up the first time I started using external instruments is that you need to restart GarageBand because GarageBand scans plugins when you first open it. So what I recommend doing is just quitting GarageBand here, dropping out of there. We don't need to save that because we haven't made any changes, and then opening it back up. So we'll just go back and open GarageBand. I just used the command spacebar to do that and type in GarageBand, and there we're back. So now we can actually set up a new track. So we're just going to delete this one, and what I'll do is we'll grab a software instrument. So I'm going to click this one here in a brand new fresh project and hit create. We've already got our typing keyboard. We'll put that aside. I'll show you how to bring that up in a moment. And this is where I got trapped the first time I tried to do this, is I didn't know how to add this. I was coming down here trying to add it as a plugin, but what you actually have to do is change the instrument. So instead of coming here to a plugin and trying to go, where is it? What? If it's an instrument as opposed to an effect plugin, you actually tap right on the instrument here. And we tap the little thing to the side here. We can go all instruments now. Check it out here. We've got Studio Logic, Numa Player. We'll take it in stereo, thank you. And boom, there it is. Amazing interface, right? You get knobs. And we tap on the actual word Numa Player, it brings it on up here. So this is our Numa Player, and the reason I had the typing keyboard up there before is if you use Command and K, you get this little sucker here. And if you don't have a MIDI keyboard plugged in, I have a MIDI keyboard here, but it's plugged into my iPad. And I could be not lazy and plug it into my Mac. But for this demo, I'm just going to use the on-screen keyboard because anyone can use this. And if we turn the volume up, you'll actually hear we have the ability to play these keys just using your A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K. And you can play on this. So I'll deep dive into this in other videos, which again, you can check out in the description. But to give you a quick tour of Numa Player, all we could need to do is choose which of these we want. So you've got pianos, you've got electric pianos, you've got keys, and you've got strings and pads. You can actually enable all four of them and get some pretty funky sounds. And you can actually decide how much of each you want. So you can blend in different amounts using these faders. And a good place to start with this plugin in any is to just come up to the top here and play around. So let's just go with like an EP Mark 1 and you get this sort of sound. Pretty darn cool, yeah. There's a whole bunch of other things behind the scenes here. You've got a bunch of settings that you can change on each one. You've got individual effects. Did you see this? How cool is this? Individual effects for each one. You can actually add different things like delays and tremolos and flanges and choruses. And you've even got your master faders here where you've got master effects, reverb and delay, as well as your overall master volume. And you can change around your EQ and your compressor. So it's pretty cool. So it's simple to get in here now. If we want to record in a sound, all we need to do is hit the record button or R on our keyboard and we can start recording. And it will record that sound in with our external instrument and it stores it as MIDI. We can then adjust that, so we can then change this. If we wanted that to actually be this clavinet instead of our electric piano, we can go back and play it. And we can adjust that to our heart's content. And again, because it's a software instrument and it's AUV3, we can even change the entire instrument itself. If we come back here and we wanted this to be something else, whoops, we pressed the wrong button, we can actually click on the side here and change it up here. So we don't have to have that. We can go back to a different instrument if we wanted to. Come in here and make it the AU MIDI synth here in GarageBand. I've never used this before. Does it actually work? It does. It sounds quite bad. But yeah, you can change it to another instrument entirely, or you can copy and paste this MIDI data because it is just MIDI. So that is how simple it is to use external instruments here in GarageBand on Mac.